Hello, hope you're doing well. The last time I tried to make this video, I ran out of time, so I'm trying it again. If you don't know me, my name is James Shahan. I'm an independent author and musician, and in 2021, 2022, I was scammed. I was scammed out of around $1,000 by someone on Twitter posing as an A&R. This is what happened. By the way, the person in question, his name is Brad Murphy. Now he's going by the Brad London on Twitter, and he has me blocked. So around the end of October 2021, he posted on Twitter asking artists to submit links to their music, and I did so, and then he hit up my DMs. He said he was super impressed, asked me to submit officially through his website. I went to his website and did the submission form. I'll show you what my message said. I was basically just like, hey, I'm James Shahan, I rap produce. At the time, I was just going under my last name, which is Shahan. Told him who I was on Twitter. I was about to come out with a new album at this time, so I asked him what the best thing to submit would be. I also asked him the best way to send him money, because he, on his website, was asking for submissions, for money for music submissions, and I didn't think much of it because it seems like a lot of people do that nowadays. He got back to me. He said, oh, you can do it through PayPal. Do it under the friends and family so I don't get, the fees, which was really the first red flag, and I should have paid more attention to it. But unfortunately, when you spend 15 years chasing a career and you don't see a lot of progress, I was desperate for some sort of forward movement. I told him here that I sent the funds, which was, I think, 150 pounds, so a little more than 150 US dollars. Asked him if I should send MP3s, waves, etc. Also, I'm going to go through these a little quickly, so feel free to pause at any time so that you can read all of these email threads. One reason why I'm doing this is to show you that I have proof, because he scammed me and countless other people. I don't want it to happen to anyone else. He told me send the music out over, in the best way that suits me, so I sent him some links. Then he told me that my submission has gone through. It's now being pitched to all of his contacts at different record labels, WMG, Warner, Atlantic, Interscope, etc. A few days after that, November 6th, as you can see here, he said, have a great development, sent your recent music submission to my new connect at Sony Epic, who thinks it could have commercial potential. He's requesting 500 pounds to cover his time, to push the music up to the executive level with a view of signing possibilities and showcasing. I'm happy to pay half the bill as your representative. What do you think? So at this point, he sort of hooked me, by saying he would pay half. He was acting like he was doing me a favor. But this is another huge red flag. If you're a music artist and someone is really interested in your music, I don't know of any legitimate record label executive or record label story that involves paying them to listen to your music. And I should have caught it at the time, but I didn't. So like I said before, since I was, feeling desperate and also feeling some motivation and some positivity, some optimism that maybe things were finally going to work out and I was going to get some career progress, I told him I was thankful, and I asked how I should send the money. Sent the money through, and then he said that I am a superstar with real talent. He'll get things moving to keep me fully updated and that I deserve it. What a scumbag. A few days later, he said that he found out that my submission was positively received, before any further investment or signing possibilities. We were invited to have our music heard by 2 senior directors and 3 VP of A&R. They're making me pay to play, but again, happy to split the bill and cover half for you. So now I was really excited because he was making promises of, you know, people that were interested and possible offers. It's a little weird that he said our music, but at this point he said he was kind of acting as my representative on my behalf. So, yeah, I was excited. I was running out of money, but I was excited, and I was happy to pay more. I was in too deep. I asked how much they were asking for. He said another 250 pounds, and I told him I'd be able to send it tomorrow. Now, this was another red flag. He said I was a superstar, thanked me in advance, and then the next day when he didn't hear from me, he thanked me in advance again. I think at this point, I forget if I had to borrow money from my wife or what, but it did take a few days for me to send the money. Unfortunately, I sent through the money, so at this point, I maybe had, let's see, 150 pounds plus 250 and another 250, so I was almost out of money. I might have had maybe $150 left in my savings, and I was living in the Czech Republic with my wife at the time, so I wasn't working, so I didn't have any income. On November 17th, he said he couldn't believe he just found out that last night I've made it to the final 3 artists to be considered for a 360 deal. He's not surprised based on my music, but it's an amazing achievement to get this far. He doesn't charge any percentage upon signing. He simply has his A&R fees to try and push this deal through. So this is another red flag, because at first he was telling me that his contacts needed money for their time. Now he's saying that the money is for his A&R fees. So his story wasn't really adding up, but I was so excited at the potential of getting my career finally started that I was blinded. I had my doubts, but I pushed them aside. And I know 360 deals aren't great, but I also didn't care, because at this point, again, I didn't have a job. I wasn't making any money, so I figured, well, at least I'd be making some money, and I'd be making music full time. So sounded like a win-win to me. I thanked him for his time and told him how grateful I was for all of his help and his belief in my music, that it really meant a lot to me. And it did, because I thought that he was a real A&R, and I thought that what he was telling me was true and that he really did believe in me. He told me that I deserved it, and in order to push the deal through, he needed 500 pounds. So I asked for some clarification, not only to make sure that they wanted to sign me, but also, are they going to fly me out? Are we signing in person? Is it over Zoom? Like, what's happening here? He said, oh, just send over the 500 pounds and then I'll secure everything. And again, I was like, hey, before we move forward, I need to level with you. After all the other expenses, I don't have that money. I need to know, I can borrow the money, but I need to know that they for sure want to sign me. As an artist who's been chasing success for nearly 15 years, the fact that my moment is here is a lot to take in and process. I just wanted details. I wanted to make sure it was legit. He said he'd happily cover half of the cost for me, but he still wasn't answering my questions. So he said the next steps would be a Zoom call, direct label call, but they for sure wanted to sign me. And at this point, I was like, well, I'm in too deep. I might as well just do it and see if it's true or not. So I sent him the last of the money that I had after already borrowing some from my wife. He said he would jump on it ASAP, and then I had to follow up almost, 11 days later, because I didn't hear from him. About another week goes by, I didn't hear anything. He said he thought they were going to go with another artist, but I was still in the running. He just needed a small fee. I told him I exhausted all my funds with the last money I sent him. He asked me if I could borrow the fee, and I told him as professionally as I could to go fuck himself. I'm not making this video to pity myself or make myself a victim, but I do want to raise awareness because no action has been taken against Brad on Twitter or any other platform, despite years of me trying to get him taken down. So if you're an artist, please steer clear of him. He's not who he says he is. He's going to take advantage of you and take your money. I don't want that to happen to anyone else. It's already hard enough being an independent musician. So that's my story. Thanks for watching.